Just outside that same window, the groundskeeper moves between the hedges, trying to focus on trimming the edges, but a troubling memory keeps pulling him back. Last night, he thought he heard voices by the fountain, soft, hurried, urgent. First, he dismissed it as imagination, but the feeling still clings to him. He glances around, uneasy, knowing that secrets in Downton rarely stay hidden for long. Inside, near the main staircase, the lovers cross paths for just a second. They don't touch, they don't speak, but their eyes meet, and in that split moment, the world seems to tilt. A spark of fear flickers in both their faces, fear not of being seen together, but of losing each other to the crushing weight of exposure. The glance lasts only a heartbeat, but the danger of it lingers long after they've walked away. Later in the servants' hall, Carson addresses the staff with a calmness that hides something sharp beneath. He mentions strange behavior and late-night wanderings, his voice heavy with warning. No names are spoken, but every servant feels the chill behind his words. The room grows tense, eyes shift, hearts race. The message is clear. Someone is being watched. Upstairs in her bedroom, Lady Edith pauses while fastening an earring. He remembers a moment earlier, the hurried figure in the corridor, the flushed cheeks, the unsettled eyes. She can't shake the suspicion growing inside her. Downton has seen its share of forbidden relationships, and Edith knows better than most how quickly secrets unravel when emotions run too deep. Meanwhile, in a quiet side room near the old corridor, the lovers finally meet, hidden behind a half-closed door. Their breaths are uneven, their voices barely above a whisper. They're starting to notice. One says, fear trembling beneath their words. "I know," the other replies, "but I can't stop seeing you." "I won't." The declaration hangs in the air, brave, reckless, and full of the kind of hope that rarely survives in a house ruled by status and expectations. They lean close, not touching, but close enough to feel the heat of each other's fear. "We have to be careful," one whispers. "If anyone sees us, they won't," the other interrupts, though doubt shimmers in their eyes. The moment breaks when footsteps echo through the hallway. Panic rushes between them like cold wind. Without another word, they slip apart, disappearing in opposite directions, hearts pounding. What they don't see, what they can't yet know, is that someone has begun following the trail. Someone has seen just enough to wonder, but not enough to understand. The edges of exposure are closing in, drawing tighter with every passing hour, and Downton Abbey, with all its beauty and order, is about to face a truth far more dangerous than a simple secret to hearts refusing to obey the rules that have shaped the estate for generations. Night falls over Downton Abbey with an unsettling heaviness, as if the darkness itself knows that something is about to break. The air feels tense, thicker than usual, carrying the weight of words unspoken and steps unplanned. The estate glows with scattered candlelight, but the shadows between rooms grow deeper, sharper, ready to expose whatever dares to hide within them. A storm brews quietly in the sky, distant thunder rumbling like a warning. Inside, the household prepares for a quiet evening, unaware that the night will soon tremble with more than weather. One of the footmen moves down the corridor with a lantern, checking windows and locks as the storm approaches. His footsteps echo gently, but his mind is restless. Rumors have multiplied. Whispers have names, now though none spoken out loud. He wonders if he might be the one to uncover the truth. In a dim corner near the old servants' staircase, the lovers meet again, drawn to each other with a desperation neither can control. The shadows hide them, but even the dark feels fragile tonight. Their breaths are shaky, their bodies tense from the fear that has been building day by day. "We shouldn't be here," one whispers, though they step closer anyway, as if closeness is the only thing keeping them steady. "I know," the other answers, "but it's the only place we can breathe." A flash of lightning cracks across the sky, lighting the hall for just a second, just long enough to catch the edge of their silhouettes leaning toward each other. They freeze, hearts pounding, listening for footsteps. None come, but the fear remains, crawling up their spines like the storm's electricity. They try to speak calmly, but their voices tremble. They're watching us now, one says. Carson, the maids. Even the family senses something. Let them watch, the other replies. But the bravado breaks at the edges. I'm more afraid of losing you than being caught. The confession hangs between them, raw and real. It is the kind of truth that shakes foundations strong enough to inspire courage, dangerous enough to invite ruin. But before they can say another word, a sound cuts through the silence. Soft, hesitant footsteps approaching the hallway. The lovers stiffen, panic flushing their faces. Someone is coming, someone who walks slowly, carefully, as though searching for something or someone. The footsteps grow louder. There is no time to think. One lover pushes, the other gently toward the servants' staircase. Go, they whisper urgently. Now. I won't leave you. You must. The moment is heartbreaking, but necessity is stronger than longing. One slips into the darkness of the staircase, vanishing from view just as the lantern's glow appears at the far end of the hall. The remaining lover presses against the wall, trying to steady trembling breath. The lantern light approaches slow, sweeping, suspicious. The footman pauses near the corner, lifting the lantern higher. Its glow stretches across the floor, reaching dangerously close to the hidden shadow. For a long, breathless moment, discovery seems certain, but the footman moves on, the lantern drifting away like a fading threat. When the danger finally passes, the lover exhales shakily, pressing a hand to their chest to calm the wild beating within. They survive the night, but barely, and Downton Abbey, with all its secrets and silent watchers, feels tighter than ever, like a cage slowly closing. The storm outside begins to break, rain hitting the windows in frantic waves. Inside the estate, hearts continue to race not from love alone, but from the growing fear that next time they might not escape so easily. Morning arrives not with peace, but with a strange uneasiness that settles over Downton Abbey like a thick fog. The storm from the night before has passed, but its echo remains in every corner of the house. Windows rattle softly, floors creak under hurried footsteps, and whispers move faster than the servants carrying trays up and down the grand staircase. Something changed during the night. Everyone feels it, even if no one can name it yet. Lady Mary stands at the head of the table during breakfast, but her usual confidence feels dimmed. She scans the room with sharp eyes, catching small tensions. A maid avoiding her gaze. Carson's unusually stiff posture. A footman who keeps glancing toward the corridor as if expecting something or someone to appear. The silence seems stretched thin, ready to snap. Downstairs, Mr. Carson quietly calls the staff to gather. His tone is calm, but his eyes reveal a storm of their own. There have been unusual movements about the house, he says, choosing his words with precision. Late night wanderings, things out of place. He pauses, allowing the weight of his meaning to sink in. I expect honesty. I expect order. The servants shift uncomfortably. Some fidget with their aprons. Others look at the floor. Daisy casts a nervous glance toward the back staircase, where she thought she heard voices the night before. She doesn't want trouble, but she can no longer pretend nothing is happening. Meanwhile, in the shadows of a narrow hallway, the lovers meet briefly, just long enough for fear to show plainly in their eyes. Gone is the excitement of secret meetings. Gone is the quiet thrill of whispered promises. There is only tension wrapped tightly around their hearts. They nearly saw. Us, one whispers, voice unsteady. Last night wasn't a warning. It was a sign. We'll be more careful, the other insists, but their voice lacks conviction. The thin line between courage and panic is wearing down. We can still do this, can we? Asks softly. Every corner feels dangerous. Someone is watching. Someone knows. They stand close, not touching, but drawn to each other as though the space between them is the only place where they can still breathe. Yet the walls around them feel closer now, as if the house itself is pushing them apart. Upstairs, Edith steals a glance through a window overlooking the garden. She sees a figure moving near the fountain, hesitant, stopping, turning, almost searching. A strange understanding flickers through her mind. She has lived in this house long enough to recognize the look of fear mixed with longing. She knows the signs. She knows the cost. Carson continues his silent investigation, checking doors, clocks, and paths that rarely see use. He walks with purpose, each step sharper than the last. He doesn't know the truth yet, but he can feel it pressing against the walls. Downton Abbey whispers to him in its own way through disturbed dust, shifted curtains, faint traces of footsteps. Something is wrong, and he will not rest until order is restored by midday. The entire estate feels tightened, wound like a clock ready to spring. Every sound seems louder, every glance seems suspicious. Even the sunlight filtering through the tall windows feels sharper, exposing more than it warms. The lovers caught in this tightening net know the truth neither wants to say out loud. They are running out of time. The final threads of secrecy are fraying. The quiet is breaking. In Downton Abbey. A quiet wind moves across the grounds of Downton Abbey, carrying a secret that could tear the estate apart. Behind its grand walls and perfect manners, something dangerous is beginning, a love that should never exist, yet refuses to die. And as the final chapter unfolds, this hidden desire threatens to change everything the Crawleys have worked so hard to protect. The sun rises slowly over Downton Abbey, casting a soft golden light on the long stone halls and endless green fields. Everything looks peaceful from the outside, but inside, something has shifted. The staff moves through their morning tasks with their usual quiet precision, polishing silver, preparing fires, setting the breakfast table, but there is a strange, unspoken tension in the air. Lady Mary stands by the tall window of the drawing room, her eyes fixed on the horizon. She feels the weight of responsibility more than ever, trying to keep Downton strong in a world that keeps changing faster than tradition can hold. She hears footsteps behind her, gentle, controlled, belonging to someone who has learned to walk. Without being noticed, she turns her head slightly, but says nothing. The silence between them feels full of things never said. Across the estate, in the servant corridors, the day begins with whispers. Some of the younger maids talk about strange sightings in the garden during the late hours, a figure slipping between the trees, a shadow near the old stone fountain. At first, they thought it was nothing more than imagination, but the stories keep returning, stronger each time. One maid swears she saw two silhouettes standing close for a casual conversation downstairs in the kitchen. Mrs. Patmore senses the shift immediately. She has seen enough at Downton to know when something is brewing. She watches Daisy work quietly, her eyes darting toward the door every few minutes. Something's going on, Mrs. Patmore mutters under her breath, but she doesn't pry, not yet. Outside, the gardens glow under the morning sun. A soft breeze moves through the rose bushes as a lone figure lingers by the stone archway, waiting. Their hands tremble slightly, not from fear, but from longing. They glance toward the house, hoping, praying that the person they seek will appear before duty pulls them apart again. And then, just for a moment, footsteps echo on the gravel path. Two worlds, one of high status and one of low, begin to move toward each other once more. The story of a forbidden love does not start with passion or danger. It starts quietly, in the soft moments before dawn, where rules feel thin and hearts speak louder than reason. And at Downton Abbey, where every choice is judged and every secret echoes louder than the last, this quiet beginning may soon become the storm that changes everything. Night settles over. Downton Abbey, like a velvet curtain, soft and heavy, hiding more than it reveals. Lamps glow inside the estate, turning windows into small golden squares floating in the darkness. But beyond this warm light, in the quiet corners of the garden, where the moon hangs low and bright, something dangerous is unfolding, something that refuses to stay buried. A figure moves carefully along the stone path, footsteps silent as a secret thought. They know this is reckless. They know they shouldn't be here. And yet, their heart pulls them forward like a force they can know. Longer fight. Every step carries a mix of fear and longing. Like walking toward a flame, knowing it might burn. At the far end of the garden, near the old fountain where the water reflects the moon like a silver mirror, another figure waits. They stand still. But inside, emotions twist like tangled threads, Hope fighting with guilt, desire colliding with duty. They shouldn't want this. They shouldn't allow it. But the memory of a gentle touch, a shared glance, and a whispered promise makes resistance feel impossible. When the two finally face each other, the entire world seems to pause. Not a leaf moves, not a sound breaks the moment. Their eyes meet, and in that single look lies everything unsaid: fear, longing, and a truth heavier than any rule Downton has ever enforced. "I thought you wouldn't come," the first whispers, voice shaky but warm. "I shouldn't have," the other replies softly, "but I couldn't stay away." That simple confession fills the space between them with something electric, something alive. It is the kind of feeling that breaks rules before the mind even understands what is happening. Yet the danger is real. If anyone discovered them, especially tonight, the fallout would spread through the estate like fire. They move closer, drawn by a force neither can deny. One reaches out, fingers brushing the other's hand, and the touch sends a rush of warmth through the cold night air. It's a moment so fragile, so precious, that even the moon seems to dim, as if giving them privacy. But the sound of distant footsteps snaps the spell. Panic flashes in their eyes. Time collapses into urgency. "We can't be seen," one whispers sharply. "We won't be," the other answers. Though the fear in their voice betrays the truth, they are playing a dangerous game. One wrong moment, one wrong witness, and everything will come crashing down. They part quickly, slipping back into the shadows. Ow! Their hearts pounding with the same mix of excitement and dread. The night hides them, but it also reminds them of the cold reality waiting at dawn. Still, even as they disappear into opposite sides of the garden, one truth remains clear. This love, forbidden and fragile, has grown roots far deeper than either expected. And soon, those roots will shake the very foundation of Downton Abbey itself. Dawn breaks over Downton Abbey with a quiet chill, the kind that slips under doors and settles into the bones of the house. The servants move through the halls with their usual rhythm, but there is an energy beneath the surface, a soft buzz of curiosity, suspicion, of half-heard rumors beginning to take shape. Secrets, no matter how carefully hidden, always find a way to breathe inside these walls. Carson senses it first. He walks through the main corridor with the calm dignity he has carried his entire life, but his eyes are sharper than usual. Notices small details. A door slightly ajar that should be closed. Muddy footprints near the side entrance that do not match any scheduled tasks. He says nothing, but his silence is never empty. It is an investigation in progress. Downstairs, the kitchen is alive with the clatter of pans and morning chatter. Daisy tries to keep her eyes on her work, but her mind is far away. She keeps turning, her head toward the window facing the garden. She saw a shadow last night, just a hint, just enough to make her pause. She wants to believe it was nothing, but her instincts whisper otherwise. Mrs. Patmore watches her closely. She has seen countless young hearts break and countless secrets rise to the surface. And she knows when someone is holding something back. Still, she decides to stay quiet. Sometimes silence reveals more than questions ever could. Upstairs, Lady Edith sits with a cup of tea cooling beside her. She feels an uneasiness she cannot explain. Something is shifting in the air, something emotional, something delicate. She has lived enough pain to recognize its footsteps even before it arrives. When she glances toward the hallway, she spots a figure passing by with unusual haste, head lowered, shoulders tense. Her instincts sharpen. Downton's peace is never disturbed without reason. Meanwhile, in the back corridors where few dare to linger, a hushed conversation unfolds. The butler's assistant, nervous and pale, whispers to a footman about seeing someone near the fountain after hours. Their voices tremble with a mix of fear and excitement. A secret sighting is worth gold in a house like this. But they know. Gossip is a dangerous knife. It cuts the one who spreads it just as easily as the one it targets. What no one realizes yet is how close the truth is to the surface. Last night's stolen moment, the touch of two hands beneath the moonlight, now hangs in the air like perfume, soft, invisible, but impossible to ignore. Downton's walls, old and wise, seem to listen. They have held generations of love, grief, and scandal. They know what is coming before anyone else does. As the morning unfolds, small clues scatter through the estate like breadcrumbs leading toward the heart of a story no one is ready to face. And though the lovers remain hidden for now, the whispers are growing louder, slipping from room to room, turning curiosity into suspicion. In a place where every look is noticed and every silence is judged, secrets can survive only for so long. The storm of discovery is gathering, quiet, patient, and unstoppable. And soon, Downton Abbey will face a truth it can no longer ignore. The afternoon sun glows softly over Downton Abbey, but its warmth does nothing to calm the tension settling inside the estate. The day moves forward like a slow drumbeat, each moment louder than the last, each echo filled with the threat of discovery. The lovers, still unnamed in the whispers but already suspected, walk through their duties with nervous care, trying to appear normal while hiding a truth far too fragile. To survive the light in the library, Lady Mary reviews estate papers, her brows tense with worry. She senses disorder not in the accounts, but in the air itself. The Crawley estate has always been built on structure, reputation, and obedience to tradition. But lately, something feels out of place. Like a picture slightly crooked on the wall, she looks toward the window where the gardens stretch endlessly. A part of her wonders what she's missing. Evening slowly drapes itself over Downton Abbey, not with calm, but with a sense of inevitability. The estate, once steady and predictable, feels like it is holding its breath. Conversations are shorter, footsteps are quicker. Every room seems to listen. Every hallway feels charged. The truth, after days of circling in shadows, is finally ready to break free. The lovers move through their duties with trembling care. They avoid each other, but their thoughts keep pulling them together, threading hope and fear into a knot that grows tighter with every passing minute. They both sense it now. There will be no more hiding after tonight. In the drawing room, Lady Mary studies the staff list with narrowed eyes. Too many coincidences, too many quiet corners disturbed. She doesn't know the full story yet, but she knows something forbidden is moving beneath her household, and the Crawley estate cannot survive another scandal. She decides she must act. Meanwhile, Carson walks the corridors with a lantern in hand. He is tired, not from age, but from suspicion. He stops at the old servant's staircase, where he finds a faint scuff on the floor, a small mark. But in a house ruled by precision, it feels like a confession. His jaw tightens. "It ends tonight," he murmurs. As the house quiets, the lovers finally meet again in the one place that has always sheltered them, the garden near the old fountain. The moon hangs low, reflecting across the water like a trembling silver path. They stand facing each other, all pretense gone. "We can't keep pretending," one says softly, their voice breaking. They're closing in. "Da-da." Other whispers, "But I can't lose you. It's not now, not after everything." No. Their hands reach out, finally finding each other without fear. For a moment, it feels like time has stopped, just them, just their truth, floating in the quiet night. But the moment fractures when a lantern's glow sweeps across the garden. Carson steps forward first, stern and shaken. Behind him, Mary stands still, her face unreadable. A few servants linger at the edge of the hedges, breaths held tight. The lovers do not run this time. They let the truth stand. Carson's voice wavers slightly as he speaks. This cannot continue.
House.
Depends on order, propriety, but Mary lifts a hand gently, silencing him. She looks at the two lovers with an expression neither harsh nor kind. Something in between. Something honest. "Times are changing," she says quietly. "People are changing. Even Downton must change with them." The words fall like soft rain, unexpected and altering. A silence follows, long, heavy, but no longer hostile. The lovers stand together, fingers intertwined, waiting for judgment. But instead of condemnation, what arrives is understanding, wrapped in hesitation, but real nonetheless. Carson bows his head, accepting the shift he cannot stop. The servants whisper, but do not speak. And Mary, after a long breath, steps closer. Love, she says, is not a crime, but it is a responsibility. If you choose it, you must face its cost. Together. The lovers exchange a look, fear still present, but now softened by hope. They nod, quietly, firmly, choosing each other in a way they never could before, as the night settles fully. The tension that haunted Downton begins to lift, replaced by something gentler, something healing. The estate stands tall, not untouched, but renewed. Even the fountain's reflection seems brighter, as though the house itself approves of the truth finally spoken aloud. Downton Abbey does not fall, devolves. And the forbidden love that once lived only in shadows now stands beneath the open sky uncertain. It's fragile, but real.